Hey, Audrey. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Audrey.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah,
Hey,
just
happy
you be a
birthday.
little
Hey,
louder.
guys.
Happy birthday, Audrey!
Happy birthday. Thank you. What a great, listen, I've got to know, remember to look at the camera and not at the video, at the screen. I had to ask Will. I said, do I need to do something? Yeah, he said, you need to look at the screen. So, how's everybody? Hi, Jenny, Benny.
Hi, honey. How are you?
Listen,
looking 12 years old.
I know. I wish. She's my uncle's neighbor. How about that?
Okay.
Small world, huh?
Yeah.
Awesome. So I thank everybody for being here. Thank you so much. And what it is, this show is, if you don't know, now you know show, which is all about this great community that we're in, right? And just giving up information, just sharing all the great blessings that we've had in this great journey and of our careers. And want to thank Audrey, Will, and Downing. Happy birthday!
Thank you.
Happy birthday!
He sang it.
Happy
birthday!
He's singing.
Okay, what key?
No, I know, right? And it's gonna be delayed. It's gonna be all delayed.
Right. Keith Fluitt, ladies and gentlemen, give him a round of applause.
Fluitt.
And Jenny Douglas-Foote, give Jenny a round of applause, y'all.
Hello.
Yes, with Sister Blessing. And it's all about, because, I'm blessed in the careers. I've known all of you. I've seen all of you perform and, and what it takes to be a background singer, as a singer, but as a background as a whole, those two different things.
Two different things.
If some folks don't get that, get up to the mic and say, ha, ha, the rhythm, all those different things. Right? So I love that art. I respect that art, and you guys have that down. We've mastered that. So and we're calling this singing in one voice.
Okay.
Which is like which is kind of, and this my running around and all, hearing that being said by background vocals. That's not, everybody's 5, 3, 2, whatever amount of mics, but it's supposed to blend. I think I heard from Keith. I think Keith, you were the one who said that. So I'd like to start, and I'll start with Jenny. As far as your career, when you first knew, okay, I like singing. I think I want to do this as a career, and just what happened, and what you did, and let's set that part of your career. Then we'll come on around. We'll come around there.
No problem.
Yeah. Besides driving my mother crazy, yeah, I think if I listened to what my mother said, I was singing according to her before I could talk, but she was a singer. Not a famous singer, but my ear training definitely came from my mother. She's just an innate singer. If she had the opportunities that I was allowed to have later on in life, she probably she'd be a dynamo, because she just had that gift. And my husband at the time picked her up from the airport, meeting her for the first time, and they were listening to a jazz station, and she was singing the melody over a solo. He was like, wow. Yeah, your mom's the real deal, Holyfield. He's like, all right, after that, I was like, okay.
No joke. Yeah.
No joke. So, but it was also intimidating. So I didn't sing in front of her until I was 13, like by myself, like a solo, until I was 13. And I was so frightened that she was in the room that I kind of spoke it and ran off stage. That only happened one time in this lifetime. That didn't happen no more. After I lost that contest, I was like, yeah, we got to get over that. Right. But then I started singing with a gospel group. We started a gospel group when I was 13, 14, and I did that up until I was 19, 20. And then I moved to Ohio and kind of dropped out of college and got with a band that was doing an album. And the album was out before my mother knew about it. And because she said, you can't sing with any band. So I was always singing with some kind of religious group. And then after that, I moved to New York, as a friend of mine that I went to college with was like, get up here. You can do this. I know you can do this. So I came up to visit him and wound up getting headshots and went back to Ohio, gave my 2 weeks notice, came back. Allison Williams I met during that time, and she had a gazillion jobs, and she was like throwing them at me like frisbees. Can you do this? Can you do that?
That's
And
Allison.
so my first gig was a Allison recommendation, and they called us back for the following weekend. And then I just started. My story is I went to an audition on a Tuesday. I was working that Friday, and I've pretty much been working ever since. And then everything else is like word of mouth. And I love being in the city. I love the pulse of it. And most of what, like Audrey was one of those people whose names I would read on albums. So when I got here, I was like, holy shit balls. You know, I wasn't stupid and all, but I was definitely like, these are the people I've been reading about would make me decide whether or not I want to get an album, you know.
Right.
I didn't see the right people on the album because I didn't know the artist. Then I wouldn't get the album.
Right. Right.
So yeah, you were legendary. And of course, Keith, I didn't know Keith until Keith is my age, so we met each other. But although he had already been in the industry, and Damon, we lived in the same building. And then Bill, good Lord.
I know.
Good Lord. So it's like you're
thinking back to everything, you know, so I was like, wow. Ouch.
Yeah. But I came to New York for theater. That was really my main thing. I didn't come here to be a backup singer. I came to New York to be theater. So I did cabaret and I did off-Broadway. And I had John James was like, you come down and do this audition for Melissa Morgan. And I was like, okay. And then I'm in the audition and I'm wishing that the girl next to me would get the gig.
Oh,
I know, right? I was hoping she'd get the gig because I was doing off-Broadway, so it wasn't like I wasn't working. But she was like, you know, she wanted, and she was so good, and I was like, I hope you get the gig. And she didn't get it, but I got it. And but it's weird, like, you know, who goes to audition and hope somebody else gets it?
Jenny.
All right, maybe so. But I got the gig, and then John and I did that 52 city tour with Melissa.
That's right. And that's when I met you. That's when I
met you, exactly. Because you started Freddie's tour. We had to jump on that. We kind of piggybacked onto that. But you guys, that was you, Sandra St. Victor's.
No, that was actually me, Cindy, and Dwayne Grayman in the beginning. That was Dwayne. The first tour you did. Remember?
Okay, you're right. Because it was the following summer.
Grayman. But then, and because Yogi Lee did it, and then it was Sandra, me, Stephanie James, and yeah. Forgot her last. Oh, she's gonna kill me. Oh my God, it was 4 of us. Oh, Norma Jean Wright.
Okay.
Me. Wow. There was a bunch of people that have done it. Yeah.
So small world.
Yes, right. Yeah, that's what I told y'all. It's like also the pot. He said, "Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!"
Right.
So Keith, when did you know? How did this hit you?
Well, it's so funny because knowing Jenny for so long, we have sort of the same story. I started out doing musical theater and couldn't get arrested. Could not get arrested.
Keith Fluitt. Keith Fluitt.
They were like, yeah, you're good, but you're too short. Yeah, you're good, but you're too short. You know, because my teacher, I went to Julia Richmond High School that had a program called Talent Unlimited, and the people that came out of there were Corey Glover from Living Color, Lisa from the Culture, and Brenda K. Starr, Kadeem Hardison. These were all my classmates. Kadeem Hardison, Gene Anthony Ray.
Oh, wow.
They found Gene Anthony Ray coming to our school to audition. Well, Gene was a few years before me. His last year, I was coming in. When he graduated, I came in 79, 80. He graduated in 78, 79. So when he was leaving, I was coming in, but they had auditioned for Fame at my school. And that's where they found Gene Anthony Ray. Wow. So I went to that school purposely because they allowed you. I auditioned for music and art and performing art and everything and got in. But once I heard that you couldn't audition for outside projects, I was like, oh no, I can't do this.
This don't work for me. Yeah.
Right?
This is a wrap because I'm going to get kicked out. You know, because I know I'm going to be auditioning for everything I hear about.
Right.
And encourage you to audition for things, you know. And my teacher, Mr. Fury, God rest his soul, he would say, you are nothing but a piece of, just go into a meat rack and you are nothing but a piece of meat on a rack. And they will pick your piece of meat off if they want that piece of meat. And that's how I looked at the whole business. If they want that piece of meat,
wow.
they black. You know, if they don't.
So encouraging.
Right. Wow.
But it was the truth. That's what I liked about the school, and
Yeah.
I guess that happened. You know, that
Really?
kind of got us. No, because nobody, gritted their teeth or held their tongue about, you got it or you don't. You know,
Right.
Myself, Billy Cliff was a classmate of mine. I know my best friend, but a classmate of mine. You know, and his mom, Tina Fabrique. So, I had all of these influences around me coming up. And again, I was auditioning for stuff but couldn't get arrested. And I know I did a talent show at the Carter Hotel on 43rd Street. And it was some type of, variety show or whatever contest. And I didn't win, but my god sister won. Jackie Stoudemire, she won. And this woman, I can't remember her name, but she was inspirational in me just starting singing because she said, she was like, "What do you do?" I was like, "Oh, I'm an actor. I'm an actor. I'm an actor.
Right. I'm an actor.
Yeah, I'm an actor. I do theater. Maybe about singing because you have a really nice voice, And ever since then, I was like, "Oh,
really?"
Okay.
Right.
I know, I'm serious because I know you as a singer. Somebody suggested that you be a singer?
Right, like he wasn't thinking of that first. He was.
No, I was thinking I was going to do that. I was Broadway.
Okay, got it.
Jenny is so funny to me, I swear.
So after that, she suggested that, and I started auditioning for singing stuff. And it's so funny because my best friend, Billy Cliff. That's another thing.
Oh, I know what you did. I know what you did.
I'm glad you did. I missed it, and I think I'm glad I did.
Everybody knows. Billy Cliff.
He said I heard.
Name. My stage name. People say Keith. People know me as Keith Fluitt, but my stage name that I've been using for the past few years is Keith Anthony Fluitt, and that's only because I have a cousin that has the same name who's also a singer in opera.
Oh, I got you.
Oh, okay.
When that happened, I started using Keith Anthony Fluitt. So when people say Keith Fluitt, I'm like, like when I sing with Nona, she'll say, "This is Keith Fluitt." I'm like, it's Keith Anthony.
Get it right. Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, to go back to what you were saying, I was doing that, and I started just auditioning for stuff, and I don't even remember. Oh, one of my first gigs, I knew David Peaston. He was a
me too.
Yes.
Peaston really good, really well. So when he got his deal, he hired me not to sing back. I was in the video, and
wow.
I was in his first video. So I started doing his videos and doing other things. And I think from there, like Jenny, I'd just been working. I just wanted to be working at when I really found out what it was all about. I was like, shoot, I just want to sing jingles and stuff. I don't care and be on the road.
Right.
I don't care about being we're talking about 19 or
right.
whatever. Nobody was thinking about being a solo artist. I mean, it was like you can make money just doing your oohs and ahs, singing on jingles and theme songs and stuff like that. So that's what I'm geared towards, just doing that because I didn't have to meet and greet and do all that other stuff. I can say, you all know me as a people person, but we all don't get up happy and peppy and bursting with love every day.
Bursting with love. I knew he was going to say that. That's his favorite thing to say.
Yeah, you have to be. And Damon, from your wife Elizabeth, you got to get out and you got to do things that you may not be in the mood to do.
Right.
Just because you
he said amen to that.
You need to promote this thing. You gotta, hey, how are you? I'll be, while your back is hurting or you just hurt some.
Right. I hear about it all the time.
Yes, so true.
I wanted the background, so I started working, and thank you, sweet Jesus, I've been working ever since. I'm doing, you can see me at a wedding, you can see me at the Carnegie Hall, or you can see me at the local dive around the
That's
corner.
all right.
I mean, excellence. You're always doing your thing. So Audrey.
Yes.
When did you know? When did it hit you? When did it say, okay, I like this?
Well, for me, I don't know if people know, I think Keith knows, but I'm one of 8. So there's a lot of us. And my parents really did not, there was no music really like that. We loved music, but there was no I went to Catholic school, so we had to sing in
Okay.
choir, and I loved singing in choir. I know, right? You'll see me before a meal. Everybody goes, "Oh, you're Catholic." I started singing in church. My sister actually was the lead singer, so I just wanted to be like my sister. You know, we would do little talent shows in Catholic school, but nothing major. And when I was 14, I was in a cotillion or something, and I had to sing this really song. I don't even remember, but it was like a kind of not a style that I would sing. But the woman next door said, "Oh, I want her to be in it," and I sang the song. And for the first time, I saw people like, you know, eyes open, like looking at me. And that's when you say, "Oh," I think I was 10. And it's like, then I wanted to be a singer. Then I walked around the house singing, and all my siblings were like, "Oh God, will she please shut up? You know, can I just hear a song without you singing?" You know, and by the time I was 14, like Jenny said, the first time I sang in front of my mother, I was 14, and I sang Sweet Thing. And after the show, you know, it was a big deal for me to even do it, because my father was like, "Oh, you want to be in a band?" And he was like, "Are they going to be boys there?" I was like, "Yeah, Daddy, the musicians." "Oh, you can't do that. There's going to be boys there." So no. So my mother let me do it. It was like around the corner. She let me do it. He didn't go. She came to it. And when it was finished, she had tears in her eyes. And she was like, "Oh my God, I didn't know you could sing. I didn't know." And I was just like, "It was good, Mommy. It was good." You know, so I went through Catholic school for 8 years. And then by the time I got to high school, that was not a Catholic high school. It was a regular high school. And for me, I auditioned for some play class, and the teacher that was there, he was just like, apparently he was blown away by my voice, but you know, I was just happy to be singing like Keith. I was like, "Oh, I'm so happy to be singing." But him and the other teacher, they kept looking at each other. Every time I would sing this, and they kept looking at each other. And then the next thing I knew, they were like, "You're going to be the lead in the play." And I'm literally coming from Catholic school. Most of the kids in school, they knew each other. They had been through, you know, IS this, PS. I didn't know these people, but I was just like, "You want me to be the lead?" So from that point forward, I was known as the singer, and I'm from Springfield Gardens, Queens. So, and then after that, I did beauty pageants. I was in Miss Black America, and I never won. I did it twice. I was like the first runner-up, second runner-up, and Crown Heights Affair with the judges.
Oh, okay.
And Crown Heights, after the thing was over, I was leaving with my parents and taking pictures, and they came over and they said, "Excuse me, you know, you got gypped. You should have won." And I was like, that made me feel great. Like, "Oh, thank you." You know, and they said, "Here's our number." And they were talking to my father, and they said, "Hey, we would love to produce her or work with her." And, you know, they came to the house, they talked to my dad, you know, and I had no idea what they were trying to do, you know, and they ended up putting me in Unlimited Touch.
Wow.
And
That's how that happened. Okay.
yeah, and that's when I met Lenny and Sandy and God rest his soul, and Tony and Phil and Stephanie.
Mhm.
And from there, that was school for me, because they taught me how to sing in the studio. They're the ones who taught me, when you're singing, you know, smile. If you don't smile, it sounds, you know, darker. If you you know. So I mean, you know, and then they would be like, your body language. If you're singing a part and you're just like, they would be like, move your body. You sound just like you're standing still, so it sounds just like you're standing still. So we need you to, like, you know, come on, get some pep in your step. So that's when I knew, like, by the time I got to high school, I knew that's what I wanted. But my mother, who was a nurse, was very practical and she was like, "Baby, there's a lot of people that can sing. What's your backup plan? You know, what you gonna do when you don't make it?" And so she was that type of person, and I'm glad she was. You know, I got a scholarship to go to school for acting, but I did not love it the way I loved singing. So I wasted a year of a scholarship, which now I wish I had, because I probably would be teaching. But at the same time, my heart was just like, I didn't want to be, that's not what I wanted, you know? So I know that I'm blessed. I'm very fortunate to be doing what I do, to, how do I say it? When people say, "What was your job? What did you do?" The only other thing I've ever done was I was a makeup artist, because my parents forced me, you know, until I made it. They were like, "Yeah, well, you got to put some money on this dresser. So what are you going to do until you make it?" You know, they were being sarcastic. "Well, until you're a star, how are you going to put some money up on this dresser like the rest of your siblings?" Right. So I worked at Macy's, and I did makeup, which, works with the life that I have. Yeah. Yeah.
And you,
I think all parents wanted us to be practical. I majored in theater, but I minored in music, which should have been vice versa.
Same thing. I had a minor in music.
And communication. Those were my two majors, which comes in handy. But my mother was like your mother. It's like, it's all negative. Like you're gonna, oh my God, you're gonna drugs, sex, and rock and roll. You're gonna be strung out. You're gonna be strung out. You're gonna be hungry in New York.
Oh my God! But for me, I'm from New York. But hers was, don't go to LA. You're gonna start doing drugs.
That's the thing about the business, though. I mean, about what we do, because I always say everybody thinks that, if your face is not on the cover, then you're not working.
Exactly.
If your face is on the cover,
that's a misconception.
You know what I mean? If they see you on, I'm going to age myself, but they see you on the Mike Douglas show or whatever, that's not your job. You're not singing. Your face needs to be on the cover, and we need to go into the record store and say, I want to buy Keith Anthony Fluitt.
Right. Well, right.
If that's not it, then you're not working. They always think it's like we're like the Little Rascals. Oh, we want to put on the show. Let's clean out the barn, and we're gonna put on the show.
Let's clean out the barn. You got one.
People really do see it,
but they don't realize that this is something that we do. That we pay taxes. We pay into our own. We pay into our own 401k or whatever. Everything we pay into it. There's not a corporation or a company that's paying into it. So we have to do all that for ourselves. Which, number one, we're very adaptable because we have to learn how to do that stuff. Because if we're screwed, of course. With IRS. So not only do you learn your craft, but you learn the business.
Yeah,
that's why
you have to. You have to.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
That's why I always call it the business show, the business of show. Because people only see the 10% when you're on stage doing the la-di-da-di-da-di-da, but they don't see the rehearsal. They don't see the struggle in how to pay your rent. They don't see, how you're struggling to pay the Metro card, or struggling to pay your car, or struggling for health insurance or whatever. Because you as an artist pay into all of that.
Right.
So people realize that, and I know my parents do the same thing. Every 10 years or so, my father said, "When you gonna get a real job?"
Oh, he's still saying that. Oh God.
I got that too a lot, Keith.
Oh yeah.
When you gonna get a real job?
Yeah.
Let me just
grow up and be a musician. I mean, what you gonna do? What is?
No, let me just tell you this. We just had a discussion, my dad and I, in the middle of this pandemic thing. About, well, when you gonna get a real job? And I said to him, a real job? I got a real job. He said, well, you ain't working right now. I'm like, who is working right now?
Who's working? Right.
We're telling us 38 million people not working.
Right.
But also,
you're not alone.
You're not alone.
But also on top of that, it's like, well, I've been prepared for this because I've been in and out of work since I quit my job.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting because we are more prepared than the average 401k worker. Clock in, clock out.
Right.
Holidays.
Because we have periods where we're not working. We are not. It's not like we don't look forward to it. But the negative thing is just for me was people said, "Oh, you just claim unemployment." It's like it's a whole different animal for us.
Well, the difference is also is that, again, we're prepared for it because we're in and out of jobs. So we know what to do in our downtime. We're folks who have a schedule. Okay, I go to work and I do this, and after work I do that. They're freaking out now. Where it's like,
oh sure.
Okay, we know. Okay, I've been working on this project and I couldn't get it done. Let me work on this project. I've been working on it. I got these songs.
Right. We have downtime.
Other things that are going on to keep us going and to keep, and like all of us now, we all have home studios. So I can record your vocals right here in the house.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank God for that.
Well, folks are like, I ain't got a job. What am I going to do? I don't know where to go. I don't know where to
sound
look.
like that.
Man, I don't know nothing.
Jenny, Indian character, I swear. Look, just so y'all know.
I ain't got a job.
Wait. But that voice that he's...
We got Catherine Russell's in watching us.
Hey, Catherine.
Yeah.
Hey, Kat.
Lisa, Love Child.
Oh, snap.
Monty Croft.
Hey, Monty.
Carol Pepsi Riley.
What's up, Carol?
Beautiful.
Paul Carter.
Wow.
Julio Herrera.
On a Thursday afternoon.
I know, but Jenny,
we done got shit to do.
That's what I was going to say.
Right?
We are not working.
Caleb's in Japan, all right?
What?
Caleb gets up at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Wow, just to see it.
Right?
Hey,
so,
guys.
Caleb,
God bless you.
Hey, guys.
You what?
How y'all doing?
Gosh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And Bet Sussman. Thank you,
Hey,
Bet.
Bet.
Thank you,
Hey,
Bet.
Bet.
Hi, Bet.
Yeah. You know, so we got a good group, y'all. And again, I appreciate you. This is such great information. And so, Bill, you had a question for him.
Influences. I guess we'll start with Jenny. What are some of your influences, and how did you put that into forming your own sound? Because it's an instrument. It's just like anything.
Yes.
That's what I was taught, because my mother was a singer. She said it's your instrument.
It is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So.
Well, my issue is there's too many influences. That's why there was never a record deal with me, because they were like,
"Shut up, Jenny.
What are you doing? You're singing over this. You're singing that. What do you have a specific?" And I don't really, because I just absorbed it all, and I loved it, because that was also an influence on my mother. If anything was on TV that was breaking news and music, and I was in the bed, my mother would get me up out of bed so I could see.
That's
and then she was enthusiastic about music, period. Jazz head. So it was all in the house, from classical to rock and roll early, blues definitely, jazz of course, hardcore, and later on, more relaxed type of jazz. And then of course, R&B, funk. So Shaka definitely was a huge influence, because it was right around the time when I was a teenager. I was like in high school. Aretha, of course, everybody's influence. Of course. And my next door neighbor, Miss Lou, she had everything she ever made, and it would come through the walls. So I knew every song. And every song James Brown had out. You know what I mean? So
I'm sorry, I get it.
And then my cousin was a little older than me. He turned me on to the Ohio Players. So there was always this influx of new music. Prince came out. I'm gravitating to it all because I was taught that. Embrace new music. So when rap happened and I was in New York, I was like, hell yeah. Right. So I was down with all of that. But I didn't have one particular influence except my mother, which I said was intimidating, and her influences. And then I grew into my own. I listen to everybody, because everybody has a story to tell. Everybody has a different way of telling it vocally. Doesn't necessarily mean that they are doing acrobats or all that stuff vocally, but if you can convey what you feel through your voice, I feel it, then that's good enough for me.
I know that's right.
I don't need you to have to show me tricks. I love that you have tricks, but I love to know that you feel what you, even, when Sade had that album out, and goes, "Is it a crime?"
Wait a minute, Jenny.
On the record.
Listen, I love Sade.
Exactly.
I love her to death.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you listen to it, it's like incense. You just light it and let it burn. But still, she's telling her message through what she with her instrument.
She's emotive. That's the bottom line. You're right about that.
So I can't answer that question honestly and tell you one particular influence. I keep getting new ones every day.
That's a good answer.
You did great though.
That's one thing I like about you guys. You sing the melody.
Oh.
And
a musician taught me that a long time ago.
And I was taught, because I play. What's all those notes? What is that? What you doing, man? I don't want. Where's the melody at? So
I know
you
that's
guys
right.
have such a beautiful way of telling a story just through the melody, and then you go to off the reservation.
Yeah.
But
off the reservation.
Off the beaten path.
I like that. Oh, right. Now you can go into the woods, and but right now just give me some
just stay in the shallow waters.
Please. Yeah.
Keith, what do you got? What do you think?
What were your influences?
Yeah, influences.
It's so funny. I mean, I've known Jenny for so many years, but we've led the same path or whatever. I didn't sing at home and yada yada, but I have a lot of my influences are like, for me, I guess they're not unsung because I know about them, but they're unsung people. Like Carl Hall was one made.
Stop it.
major influence for me. Lee Truesdale.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Just a lot of singers that that the singer community knows, but
Right.
the people don't know. I mean, I love Shaka Khan. I love all the greats that Jenny named and Audrey will name, like Audrey.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Allen, Jenny, Don James.
Right. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a fan. That's my baby. That's Jenny's baby, but that's mine.
That's my brother.
I look. I when I see you two, I think of you two together. That's how I met y'all. So
Yeah,
for me, it's just
exactly.
like, but his voice is butter.
Yeah.
Those who don't know, industry
Singers
folks
like
know.
that. It's singers like that I gravitated to, and a lot of like again, I grew up in musical theater, so I was going to theater a lot. So I knew like that. That's how I was introduced to Carl Hall and Nell Carter and people like that.
Oh wow.
And singing the melody, because in theater you've got to sing the melody. You
Not
don't
about
have
Sing
to-
what's written. Yeah,
Right.
sing what's written.
Right.
Yeah. Because, if it's not on the paper, then you shouldn't be singing it.
Oh yeah, they don't like that.
So
Oh, you get a note.
Well,
At the end of you get a note.
Don't get that note.
funny story.
That note, boy. Woo.
Hold on. Funny story is that the one opportunity I did get to do Broadway, which was Hot Feet, that only lasted a hot minute.
Yes.
That's all right. That's all right, but you did it. You did
That's
it.
like I was
I ain't
supposed
never
to
done
stop, but it
Broadway.
goes down.
For anybody who saw the show, it was basically the Red Shoe Diary. Basically
Right.
this girl dances herself to death, and Debbie Allen, Norm Nixon's daughter, was the star of it, and
Right.
it was to the music of Earth, Wind, and Fire, and I was the
Right.
voice. Brent Carter was the voice of Maurice White. I was the voice of Philip Bailey, and then we had Marvel Allen and
Teresa.
And John, too.
Yeah, he said.
Every
Oh
night,
yeah, that's right. That's right.
I would sing. They call it the 12 o'clock 12 o'clock number right before intermission, and I had to sing a fantasy. So every night, as I said before, doing Broadway, you have to sing it, as it's written. So every night I would purposely try to sing it differently. Every night, and there was one night where, I don't know what I was doing, but I was holding a note, and I'm like, ah! You see the MD going,
Stop.
Oh no.
Wearing them out. That's key.
I was like, yeah, because I knew the show wasn't gonna last. So I'm like, if I got to go,
Wow, you knew?
Oh my gosh.
You knew. You didn't know.
Oh, yes, I did.
No, you didn't know.
We all knew. It's a whole nother.
I said we all knew.
We all knew at some point. Oh.
We all knew, but again, my influences were people that that I knew and that we all knew in the music world. But it was just and then learning, when I got a chance to work with a lot of these people, I really respected them even more, because I've always liked Ashford and Simpson. Well, my cousin always loved Ashford and Simpson. When I got a chance to work with Ashford and Simpson, I got a lesson to respect them even more because of their pattern, their scheduling, the way they work. The same with Martha Wash. It was like, you come into her rehearsal, like all those things, Martha Wash, Bernard Fowler, Nona Hendricks. If you come into those rehearsals, you come hard and you go home.
Right.
Right. If you ain't coming to sing, if you just gonna walk
Now,
through,
true.
your ass out.
Yeah.
Because that's how they roll. If you gonna sing it like it's the damn show. Now they can walk it through because it's their show. But if you sing in the background, they need to hear it.
You better sing. That's
but that's the gig.
Yeah, exactly.
If you sing, go home. Come hard or go home. That's all. That's what it's about.
That's the gig.
That is the gig. You're right about that. And it's supposed to be a warm up for you anyway. Rehearsal is supposed to be, you getting yourself warmed up for the day.
Exactly.
So I learned from them. I learned from all of them. And Lee Truesdale was another one. He would always sing, he was like one of them screaming divas.
Yes, he was.
And that was the name of the group, by the way.
Oh, stop.
I was in Screaming Divas.
You could scream until your throat was bleeding.
It was Truesdale, John James, me.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And it was for Denise Morgan.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was the Screaming Divas. I was like, oh God.
Oh, no.
Wow.
a lot of people.
Claim to fame.
Yeah, it was a lot of people like that. Like BJ Nelson was one of my all-time favorites.
Oh, yeah.
When
love her. Love her.
I met her. I knew the name. Like Jenny said, you knew all the names from the credit. And then when you got like at BJ, and I remember meeting Dennis Collins in the train station the day after. I saw him on David Letterman, and I'm in the train. I'm like, oh my God, you're Dennis Collins!
And he's probably, I know his face was probably that Dennis face.
Exactly.
People, I was like, who is this?
I did a Broadway show with BJ, with one of BJ's friends. And when they said, oh, the lady that's going to be helping out with the music is BJ Nelson, I was like, oh, BJ Nelson. I'm like, oh my God, BJ.
Yeah, pioneer.
Yeah.
BJ's a pioneer, man.
Wow.
I mean, they were all my influences. And then, you also get to, when you get to learn their voices, and when you get to and you kind of mimic and take like Jenny said, all of them. You say, oh, that sounded a little like BJ. That sounded a little like
right. You take a piece from everybody.
Even to the point where you don't even have to know who's on the credit. Because like when Jenny did that solo on Keith Robinson's record, it was like I didn't even have to know that's Jenny. I know that's Jenny's voice. That's.
Okay, now you're telling me some shit I don't even remember. I was like, really? Just so long. Who's the album? Are you kidding me? I need to get that album because I that's news to me. I was like, when did I do that? I'm sure I did.
Yeah.
I just don't remember. Like I said, it's always the next gig with me. I'm not looking back.
Oh, but Jenny, what happens is we move on, like you said, to the next gig. But the beautiful thing about music is that song might have touched somebody. So people do that all the time. They'll remind me, oh, you sang on this. And I'm like, I have to Google it and be like, oh, I did sing on. You don't remember. Sorry, but it's just not like that.
That's true. That's true.
We have our favorites, but they have theirs. So people kind of mess you up when they
like I know 4 songs for Dr. John. When he died, for some reason, I got this something email or something, and I looked at it, I was like, oh, that is me. That's sad. I forgot all about it.
Not to mention our voices changed when we were younger. We sounded different.
So but they do.
That's a whole nother thing. A whole nother
topic. One singer to another, you get to hear those influences. Like when you sang Step by Step, it was like I didn't have to know that was Audrey Wheeler.
Really?
I could just like, oh, that's Audrey.
But you know what's funny? That song was demoed by Anita Pointer because she wrote it with Jeff Lorber. So when I got the demo, because of doing backgrounds and because of what we do, I'm trying to sound like Anita Pointer because that's the demo. Right. And Jeff was like, and it was produced by, Mike Murphy and the System and them. So basically they were like, no, we don't want Anita. We want you to do you. So there's always influences.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
So Audrey, what I'm sorry, Keith.
I was just saying, go ahead. I'm sorry. I know I'm bombarded. Go ahead.
What are some of your Audrey?
You are so silly. It's funny. I loved the Pointer Sisters when I was younger.
Okay.
I loved, oh my God, from Temptations. Eddie Kendricks was a man who sang like a woman to me. So I loved, you could tell, I would play Keep on Trucking to the point where my family would be like, stop, please. So I liked a lot of men. And I also, of course, loved, Aretha Franklin. And I was a huge, huge follower of 2 singers that you probably wouldn't think, or maybe you would. I was a big follower of Melba Moore, loved Melba. And I loved, Phyllis Hyman. I loved Shaka, like she said as well. It's funny because you all know I sang with her, been touring with her since 1990, but I always heard her voice and was like, I can't do that. You know what I mean? I loved what she did. And I tell her this all the time, but it's like, you tend to draw yourself to what you think you sound like or what you think you can do. And I love like the Emotions and the Jones Girls. I liked a lot of them. And I loved Natalie Cole. Natalie Cole was end all to be all for me. So, that was in my early years. As we get, like she said, as we get into the industry, you always hear things, but I think that people who are producers, we learn little things from them. They'll say, or I remember when I was trying to get a record deal, they were like, we already got a Natalie Cole. We already got a Whitney Houston. They would say things like that. And you have to think that way. And I think that's one of the biggest tricks for us as background singers. I feel like we are chameleons. When I go into a gig, my whole thing is I ask the producer questions. Maybe they hate it, but I do it. I say, what are we going for here? Are we doing, you want air? You want gut bucket? You want gospel? I ask questions. I try to get a little bit of info so that I have that headset because you can't go in there with that approach of, oh, they hired me, so they want my sound, And there's a lot of singers now that's their thing. Oh, they hired me, so they want me to do my thing. And it's like, no, sis, they want you to sound like a unit.
With musicians, you doing the same thing.
I don't get it. I don't get
it. You ask them, what are we going for?
Right.
That's not it. Try something else.
Right.
Yeah.
So for me, my head, I honestly, you have people who will say to you, oh, you've become, my husband, let me stop. My husband does this to me. You've become comfortable singing backgrounds. You've done so many different styles of music that when you have to say something for yourself, all these different characters are in there and you're like, who am I? Just like Jenny was saying, what would I want to say? What's my story to tell? So that's the only thing about it to me that is something that you have to break yourself out of. At this point in your career, you say, when I sing a song for someone, what is Audrey? What I've done, I don't sing like this person, but I like when that person does this. I like Aretha. I like that. I like this. So it is an art form. For those who think that it's not, we all know background singers or people who are lead singers actually, who try to do backgrounds and no. Lovely voices. But
unfortunately, that's the truth.
And it's no, they think we're being, I've had this famous singer that I'm not going to say who she is, but she used to say to me and Cindy, y'all never call me to do background. Y'all are mean. Y'all never. It's like, boo, you are the star. If we put you in the mix, you're not, you haven't blended with us. You don't know what the sound is and your voice is going to stick out. So it is very, and when young singers ask me, I'm very passionate about this because obviously y'all know I got a kid who sings and acts and all of that. One of the things I think that people need to realize is it's also about ego, because when you get 3 good singers in the studio, there's this whole, when the sound is told to you, like the producer says, this is the note. I want y'all to sing, do this. Now you got 3 different interpretations of that note. And we have to make a cake. We have to sit there and say, and sometimes I feel like it's up to the producer to say, who did that? And that's how they used to do it in the old days. When they couldn't really see you, they'd say, who sang that part right there? That's how I want it.
Exactly.
So now everybody comes and tries to sound like that. Because if you think about it, you have to come in with the mindset of, we're creating this sound. So I'm not going to go in there with, this is how I do it. I'm not going to do that. I want to see, because when you hear yourself sometimes on recordings, you're like, wow, who was that? That was me, so-and-so and so-and-so. Because I call them like little families. And when you tour, I call that a little family too. You on a tour bus, you living with people, you doing everything with them, you eating, you're traveling, going through stuff with them. It's like little family, little pockets of different families. Each family brings out a whole different sound. So I don't know. I just think it's an art form, and I think it should be. I think Luther brought so much respect to it. He was one of those background singers in the beginning who became famous, who became beloved, and he always gave credit to background singers. I think Freddie Jackson loves background singers as well. Yeah. He used to do backgrounds. And, like Shaka, I sing with Shaka, she'll tell you in a heartbeat. If we're singing a part and it's real sweet and we're trying to get the unison part, she'll come up and she'll be like, I can't do that. I don't do that. I don't know how y'all do that. I can't sing like that. I can't sing. I can only sing like this. She'll say and her voice, her speaking voice is just like her singing voice. We'll be trying to do, sing with Ann. She's like, I can't do that. I can't do that. So
I appreciate her honesty. Some lead singers think they can do it all.
The only singer I've ever worked with who told me to turn up. Now, guitar players, right? I'm like running all these boogies on a ship somewhere. And she said, turn up. And she matched me volume, note for note. Whoa. I tell this story all the time. It just completely blew me away. Everybody else telling me to turn down. She said, turn up. But that's her musicality, so.
Right.
Wow. Audrey, you all right, mama?
Girl, I had to get some tea, some water.
Yeah.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank everybody. This is the, if you don't know, now you know show. If you're just coming in, we have Jenny Douglas-Foote. Give her a round of applause, wherever you are at home, in your bedroom, wherever you are. Anthony Fluitt, Okay,
Anthony.
no, keep that A in there.
Anthony.
Keep Anthony.
Anthony.
Audrey Wheeler Downey, and that's her birthday, so happy birthday.
Happy
thank
birthday,
Thank
Audrey.
y'all so much.
We
Listen,
treasure the here with
thank
us,
y'all.
spending her
Thank you.
birthday with us. This is awesome. This is awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you.
And you know, because the whole background thing, everything you're saying is gospel, and I can tell by what everybody's, you know,
Thank
Catherine Russell's like, yeah, thank everybody. This is such great information. Elizabeth
True.
Moore Campo, she's an awesome vocalist, and Asa again is, you know, so everybody's still sticking with us, and they're going right along with you guys. Every word that you say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You know,
That's right.
great information. And so I want to go to something that I, you know, because I've, you know, worked with you guys. I've seen you guys action. And then when the lead singer may make a change, right? Something that I respect highly is that recall, you know, because I've seen Keith many times because he works with Liz, right? So Liz will make a little quick change and just, you know, rhythmically or whatever. And Keith is like, has his, you see his computer.
Yes.
Okay, how am I going to retain this? And you know, what way am I going to do this? And
Right.
that's you know, it's all for all people within a band that has that recall and different tricks. I have my tricks. Everybody has tricks. Tony
Right.
Bridges used to show me this thing with the cheat sheet, how, you know, we would do
Oh,
things,
yeah.
right? So it's different ways. You know, for singing it's different because you have to have, you know, because I've seen Liz how she does. She has little notes. Different things mean different ways that
Right.
she can approach it, and she'll have it, and she's able to do her thing in her way that she's been professional. So what, you know, this going around again, how do you guys take that? Because those are gems. Those are big gems that folks don't get, because I'll go to these open mics and people are trying to sing and all. It's like, you know, you sing one rhythm, he sing another, this is that, you know, change a note every other second.
Right.
You know, so how do you, what's your
What's our tricks?
Yeah.
Let's start the other way around.
She said, why is it always got to start with me? I'll start it.
Good.
Audrey.
So for me, I think when you have a unit, I'm just going to make up a unit, but it is a unit that works a lot. We work together, me, Cindy Mizell, and Keith. And one of us may have more of a handle on, let's just say, the rhythm. And Cindy might remember note for note what the producer said. And I might have the tone that the person wanted. So we are truly discussing. And if anyone were to see on a recording session, it's more of a situation of, we're like, if you ever see us with the side mouth thing, where we're like, girl, you know what? Like that's a Jenny thing. I've seen Jenny do that with John, you know, like, what we singing? What note you singing? Okay, switch notes with me. Like we'll be talking in the middle of right before we have to sing something. So there are ways that and also as far as the notes go, same thing. If you were to look at a sheet of paper that we had from a session where the lyrics were, sometimes notes go up and they go down. And I don't read. I'll be the first one to say I don't read music. So, but there are people that do. And so for me, I remember a funny story. I had a session with Danny Madden. And Danny reads. And we had this Latino session that I got called for. I don't remember how. It was me, Danny, and some Spanish singers. So they're in there. They come out and they're Latino guys and they don't really speak much English, but they come and say, here's the sheet music, you guys. And the lyrics are right underneath. And so inside I'm like, oh, okay. And so Danny's like, just follow me. Sing the octave to what I sang. Your note is the third or the fifth above. He was just like talking up. And he would sing. So he would say, is this how it goes? And he would sing the melody. And I would be like, because we use our ears, where you have to be more of I think you have to be the ones who work a lot, are the ones who are able to quickly retain and hear what a producer or a musician wants. And remember, it is very difficult. That is the truth. It's not difficult, but it's an art. In the beginning, you're nervous. You don't know the producer well. So you basically are like, oh God, I hope I retain everything that they want. And sometimes you sing it with a little flavor different than what they sang, same notes, but they like your flavor. So that's why I say it's totally an art form. But as far as the tricks we do, it's a lot of talking going on. Before that button is pushed down for the recordings, we're like, what's that part again? And then everybody comes together, and you think, oh, you guys are great. But somebody else might have remembered it. And sometimes we don't think the note is the same. Jenny might say, no, I thought it was ba-da-da. And, you know, and then we talk about it because we want to be
And heaven forbid that you do that, and then the producer goes, "Well, it was this, but now do that."
Exactly.
They were like, "Well, I'm not getting writing credits for this, okay?"
Or arrangements, right?
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. So that's what we do. It's communicating. We have to communicate. That's why I said before, ego has to go out the window, and that's not always a successful thing. But that's what I think. I think it's not about you. If we're a unit, and it's a little different now lately too, because now they hire one singer sometimes to do all the parts. We all know about that, especially with home studios. So basically, you're doing the top, the middle, and the bottom. So then you can sing it however you want because you're blending with yourself, which is easier. But I don't know so much that it's tricks, but it's definitely not as easy as people think it is. They find out when they have to do it themselves. Like Shaka does her backgrounds on her records. Marvin Gaye did his backgrounds on his records. So many people, that was Tina Marie did. That was their sound. But
Marvin didn't do all his backgrounds.
No, he didn't do all of them. He didn't do all of them. That's true. You're right. It was some other guys.
And I want an album ain't all him. That's them children back there. They chirping for the blood.
Oh, no. That's true. Marvin didn't do all of it. You are right. You're right.
I know I'm older than everybody.
No, you're not, Jenny.
Yes, I am.
Talking about Jenny, shut up.
I go to the senior citizens and shop for my food. Senior citizens album.
Oh my God, Jenny, it's so silly. Hey, today's a birthday for me, so I'm definitely feeling old. So if you saying that,
you look 12.
Oh yeah, okay. You tell my body that. But go ahead. Anybody else could say what they're. If I didn't say anything, that was a trick that we use in the studio. But we definitely have the lyrics sheets in front of us, and we're writing all over it. Just know that, breaking up the words, the phrasing,
Yeah. To add to that, I just would say that I know for myself when I'm singing, because I'm blessed to say that I get to sing with my friends. So it's not like, it's very rare lately that I get to sing with someone new. It's always somebody that I know, and we're familiar with, and we have respect for one another.
Right.
And I can say what I've even said this to Liz. When Liz starts changing stuff within her show, I'm like, oh, damn!
I just got it. Right. I just got it. And now
I've seen that face too. I've seen it.
Yeah, but you're like, okay, this is what she wants. Let me just go ahead and, forget about that. I mean, because I've been told that, another friend of mine, singer, songwriter, Morley, who I've sang with her for years. I still can. She would do songs that I've learned with her when I first started singing, and she's changed the background so many times that I will immediately go to the first thing that I've learned with her. And she says, "No, we haven't done that in years." And I'm like, "But that's still in my head, that's still in my head from the very first time of working with her." So sometimes I gotta like, "Oh, right, it's that, because sometimes."
Same thing with Jennifer Holiday. Sorry to interrupt. Same thing with Jennifer.
First thing that will just remain in your head, So you just have to be on yourself to know that, okay, this is different. And again, when I'm singing with Cindy and Audrey, respect between the three of us, that it's like, oh, okay, like Audrey says, Audrey will say, oh no, he wants a little more air, or even just in the ego, like she said, the ego. Sometimes it's just like, okay, y'all two got it. Let me just step out.
I forgot about that. That's so true.
You got to know when to leave the party. It's not like you're not included, but just sometimes, okay, they got it, and instead of me sitting here trying to match it and wasting time because time is money, let me just y'all do it, and we can get this thing over with. And
no, that's right.
So don't be ashamed to step out and just say, look, y'all got it. I'm just gonna sit back and y'all do that part. I'll come in for the next one.
Keith, remember when we did Patty Austin, and it was me, you. He knows what I'm gonna say. So you're not gonna be offended if I say this, but every time I sing with Keith has this voice that I can't even imitate it. But Keith's voice has so much bass in it. When he talks, but he sings all the way up here. So when I sing with him, if it's a part and he's killing the soprano part, I'll be like, "You got it." I don't fight. He sounds amazing. Why am I gonna do it?
I expect Keith to do the soprano part.
People don't. So when we did Patty Austin, it was me, him, and Vivian, right? It was me, you, and Vivian. And I had done it with Cindy and Nikki. So when I did it with Cindy and Nikki, I did the middle, but Vivian did the middle. So she was like, nope, I'm doing the middle. So I was like, you know what? I'll do the bottom. And Keith was like, I'll do the top. And it was amazing. So those are the type of things. It's about communicating. It's like, you know that there are singers in theater. There's a lot more singers. I shouldn't say that and say in theater, but there are singers who come from that school of, I'm a soprano. Oh, I'm an alto. Oh, that's all I do. You limit yourself when you do that. You know what I mean? You just say.
That's a different medium though. Because in
sure
theater, in theater, they pretty much want you to declare what it is that you
right.
They don't want to hear about all this other shit you can do. They be like,
right. What are you comfortable? Right. That's true. That's what they want you to do.
But for singers also, for recording, I should say, for recording singers, it's about getting the job done.
Right.
When they call you in for a session, it's like, okay, can you do this session on Thursday? We're gonna book the session from 3 to 6. We know as a singer, we walk in saying we don't want to be here till 6 o'clock.
Absolutely not.
Exactly.
We want to get out of here by 4 or 5 o'clock.
Right.
So we come in with that mentality and say, look, we're going to get this done. We're going to get this done quickly so we can get out of here. So
right.
We can go home, shop, whatever the situation is. So we come in with that mentality.
Yeah.
Like they say, get in to get out.
And we're communicating with each other to help each other. If you are having trouble with a rhythm thing or I'm missing a note, like I said, in between singing, we'll be like just a note, get it. Come on, let's get up out of here. So it's like you said. Yeah, it's communicating.
Yep, your turn, Jenny.
Yeah,
all I can add to, the only thing I can add to that is that you're talking about singing with different people and having them throw a horseshoe, down at you. There have been some incidents live where we've added songs that, the artist wants to put that in.
Absolutely.
Put that in tonight. So there's a quick study, like you said. Everybody's
quick
like,
rehearsal.
Exactly. Not just but you have to do it.
Yeah.
You don't get a chance to do it at a sound check, or even before the sound check, you have to go do it, and you have to go like, okay,
in the dressing room.
Yeah, let's get this together because I know this song is not gonna, and plus you're trying to remember it, you're trying to remember the words, and of course you're trying to remember the notes and the flavor and all of that. But my little go-tos, I always find it easy for me to remember anything I sing if I write it. If I just, the whole stop and what they say, okay, we could rewind. Okay, what they say. Now, mind you, I heard what the hell they said. But for some reason, mentally and vocally, because when I was younger, I would brag that I kind of had a photogenic memory abilities.
Right.
And then I used to with lyrics. And even Keith and I, people will either refer to me or Keith if they can't figure out a song. But I can't figure it out. I'm gonna call Keith.
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that, so I will be calling you for that reason. It's good to know.
Because we got a lot in these Rolodex in our minds. Mine's mostly, it's not digital. It's analog now. It used to be digital.
Used to be.
Used to be. So I can remember that way better. And it's only been on occasions that I try to put something in my hand, but most of the time I forget it's in my damn hand.
Look, and then sweat it out, and you go to look.
On the back of my hand, but I would forget it's there because I'm already, for some reason, professionally, and I guess all of us on this panel and everybody out there can agree, when it's showtime.
Sometimes it comes.
When it's showtime, for some reason, your memory is all that and a bag of chips.
What is that about? At a rehearsal?
I think it's to save face.
It is the professional. Yeah.
Egg on your face.
But look, even if you stumbled on a part, like you said at rehearsal, when the show comes, you better trust and believe. I might miss one word, but I'm gonna sing the doo-doo out of it. So you'd be like, oh, that was dope. You're gonna add something to it to make it like, yeah, I did that on purpose. But you really did not remember the words or so. Yeah.
Oh, words? Oh, please. Words.
Right.
Who needs words? Who needs thinking words?
we go through that too.
The best thing is I had in high school I had a teacher, Miss Lieberman, and she would say when we would sing in the chorus group, she'd say, "The hell with the words, just get the note out." So if the word was, "Here comes the judge," and you could remember "Here comes the judge," she was just sing the notes, and the notes would be "Ha ba ba ee."
That's what she wanted to know. She wanted to know, do you know the daggone melody?
That's my favorite one.
Her thing was give me the notes. Don't give me the words, because I need the notes. People are going to hear the notes. Give me the notes.
That's true.
That's what. So I guess that's.
You had great teachers, Keith. Some of them scary.
You sure did.
Some of them scary.
No.
The meat guy, that's a little scary.
No. Let me tell you, in the beginning, they scared the hell out of me because I went like Audrey, went from 8 years of Catholic school to public school.
That's a big transition.
I was just excited about wearing regular clothes.
Me too, Keith.
Okay, how many people went to Catholic school? Raise your hand.
Oh my God.
Wow. And wow.
Mr. Mary.
Okay, that's a conversation right there, y'all. What the hell's that all about?
Oh boy.
Y'all went as far as what? You went as far as high school, whatever? I went as far as second grade. After that, it was a done deal. I went to public school.
It was first to the 8th grade, girl.
Whoa.
So when I got to the 9th grade, I was just like, the school was so big to me. And then if there were five people that went to the Catholic school with me, we'd see, because we didn't change classes in Catholic school.
No.
We didn't do that, man. So when I got to high school, you'd be in the hallway and you see somebody that you went to school with. Hi, so-and-so. Hi, Barry. Hi, because, that's all you were so excited to see somebody you freaking knew.
That's an interesting point, but I didn't even know. I would never have guessed any of that.
Isn't that something?
And you said you did like this, and I was like, wait a minute, I need to see a hand right now, because
you got it.
I went to Catholic school. My mother thought I'd get a better education. My mother thought I'd get a better education. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky, and it was the only black Catholic school.
I think all our parents felt the same way. You get a better education in Catholic school because I went to 8th grade.
Yeah, because
you stayed in one school, and then when you went to public school, you opened up. But then again, with public school, and then the teachers that I had at the time were very instrumental of how I live my life today.
Yeah,
and they
you too, Damon? Damon, you too?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy, because that's not, and you know what's funny, gonna mess y'all up? Shaka went to Catholic school.
What?
When me and her,
I knew that though.
Okay. When we are a band, me and her are always the only ones doing this, and they always laugh at us like, what y'all doing? Because most of them are from, I'm Pentecostal, I'm Baptist, or whatever. And my grandmother was my father's side my mother was Catholic. So I got to see it, but it was scary to me. I would go to that church and the people be jumping around. I'm like, what are they doing?
See, I'm definitely the one that snuck in the back door. I was not Catholic. My mother was just wishing that I get a better education.
Right.
Because the first time I walked into that church without something on my head, I thought the nun was gonna chew me alive. She took me outside, and I'm this kid. I was like, why is she so upset with me? She's like, you didn't come in. I was like, without something on my head? Really? That means that much?
Yeah.
I'm a kid. I'm like 6 years old. I didn't understand it.
Oh, yeah. You're 6 years old. You don't
because I wasn't a Catholic.
I get it. My mother wasn't. I get it. But I love the music from the Baptist church. I love, and to this day, you would think that I was, but I love it. But
yeah, I'm Baptist. I'm not Catholic. I just went to a Catholic school. But still, that's an interesting point that all of us did.
Well, there's discipline that we also got. Wearing uniforms. You remember Jenny getting in trouble? I don't know if
something on your head when you go.
On your head. In the wintertime, you wore your uniform, but you could wear pants underneath it when you got to school.
Because you weren't allowed to wear pants in school.
No, so my sister would roll her pants up. I ain't taking these off. She would roll them up.
And be under her skirt.
And then maybe do something or sit down in the chair and the teacher say, you got on your pants? Wow. Okay, you got detention after. You got detention. You got detention. You couldn't chew gum. You remember they used to put gum on your nose and make you wear the gum? I don't know if they did that at your school.
Well, I didn't chew gum anyway. I mean, it was pretty strict, but
rough.
I should be going y'all out because basically, y'all say all of that, but when I graduated, I got a certificate. They never gave me a diploma because I was so bad. Let's just leave
Are you serious? Are you serious?
I never got a diploma from graduating out of eighth grade. I got a certificate. And
nobody gets a diploma from 8th grade.
Wait, right. I mean,
I got a certificate. Everybody else got a diploma.
Everybody else, you do get a diploma. You get a little book. It's not the same as what you get in high school, but you get.
Oh, it's not the same, but still, you know, to a parent, it says the same thing.
Okay.
You know,
Oh yeah, so
real quick, because I don't want to keep, because I know Audrey got a big party going on.
oh yeah, right. No, I don't actually.
Well, we're coming over.
Oh, okay. Jersey, y'all know, right?
I want to talk about this other thing. It's the because of your voice, because your instrument is your voice, your throat, and all the maintenance, and how that you take care of your instrument. You know the scarves, the teas, the shots, the steroid shots that I know about. You know, the different things that.
Keith is laughing. Let Keith go first. Let Keith go first. He's laughing. He's cracking up. Keith's gonna go first. I want to hear what you got to say.
I'm only laughing because y'all know me, and I don't have a regimen. I don't have any of that stuff.
Randy.
So, I'm like, when you hear most people who know me, who don't know me, they think I'm a rapper. If they hear my voice and say, "Oh, you rap," and I'm like, "No, I sing," and they're like, "You sing?"
What?
But,
Yeah.
No, but y'all know, I will come into a rehearsal with a bottle of frozen
ice cold water.
Yeah, he's a water drinker.
Ice
cold, and I will drink it during the session, during the rehearsal, or whatever. And my whole family's like that. We like ice cold water. So I don't like, the only thing I drink tea, but tea will dry me out. Tea will dry my throat out. If I drink tea while I'm singing, it will dry me out. I can drink tea now while I'm talking about it, but if I drink tea trying to sing, but give me some ice cold water, I'm here forever.
And I can't. And ice cold water is too harsh for me.
You might as well stick me in the Arctic.
Right. I'll be sounding like Keith. No.
You might as well stick me in the Arctic and say, "Now sing." Like, what?
Right, Keith. I don't It's too cold. It's too cold. Yeah. But as far as regiments for me, I am a person. I'm the entire opposite of Keith. Not only
everybody's the opposite of Keith. Just so you know.
Not only am I the opposite, but I'm in the extreme, because not only do we have to worry about our vocal ability, we have to worry about other health issues that we have that affect our voice. So for me, I have acid reflux, hardly, and I take medicine twice a day. And so if I don't deal with that, or my medicine runs out and I'm on tour, what people don't know is burning the back of your esophagus. Yeah. So it's on fire. And so therefore it affects my range. It affects how smooth it is. You know, we are professional. We've been doing it so long, so we learn how to, play around with it. But in general, there's sinus issues, post-nasal drip. So I have everything. I just got to this whole, there's a product that I use. I get it in Walmart. Now I can't remember the name, of course, but it's a nasal spray that's very good for clearing you out. It's the first time in years that I'm able to sleep at night and both my nostrils are clear. Never had that. You know how you lay on one side, this side is stuff and this is clear. Yeah. So I got to that. I do a lot of ginger tea. I'm very big on the ginger candies. And when we're in Japan, they make us this ginger tea straight from ginger, which we all do. Keith, you do that because you've told me about that. When you get sick, you do it. But we don't wait just because we're sick. We like the taste of the ginger. And they say ginger is very medicinal. And throat lozenges, of course. But I feel like the real big deal is that you don't warm up enough. I know for me, when we do sound check, that is our warm up on a performance day. But like coming into a session, I'm in the car, because I haven't warmed up. So that's the thing that we're taught to do, but I feel we don't do enough, but we don't do enough.
Shut up, Keith.
I don't do it at all. I had a vocal teacher that told me when I went to AMDA. AMDA. I had a vocal teacher that told me, he was like, well, you don't need to warm up because you talk a lot, and that's all I needed to hear.
Wow. Wow.
Come on, Keith.
And the rest is history.
He said, and the rest is history.
Okay, okay, Keith, that explains, that speaks volumes right now. I just want you to know that.
Exactly.
He said that is my warm up.
Yeah, I'm good with that. It works for you, Keith. Keep it up. But I can't just talk.
No.
And I like to talk, but I don't get to talk all the time because I don't,
Yeah.
I do like to
I'm talking to myself. Yeah, exactly.
I do sound check as a warm up. I'm with you with that, Audrey. A lot of people want to warm up before sound check. I'm like, don't be pushing too much on your voice.
Absolutely.
You got a show to do too, and you want to do all this freaking and roaring before you go to sound check. Please.
I don't do that either.
You're gonna hurt yourself doing that.
Yeah, and I hear people, they're in their room screaming out notes, and I'm just like, and I feel guilty. Like, should I be? Nah, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna wait till I get the sound check.
It's also individual. That's the other thing.
That's true.
It doesn't have to, like you just said. You don't. I'm with you. I don't really like to push too much because I used to in the beginning when I first came to New York, I would oversing because I'm so worried about when I get to sing. I've done this warm up and I'm doing this thing.
Right.
The night is my voice is like, I'm tired.
Right. You just did 3 shows. You just did 3 shows with all that screaming. Yeah.
Exactly. So I learned that though. And I had an issue with my voices. I had a retention cyst, not a nodule, but I guess the beginning of one. But it took me a tour. I was doing a tour that kept taking notes for me. And I never had that experience before.
How did you get rid of it? I'm curious.
I went to a therapist. And I went to a doctor and he suggested a therapist. He said, I don't think you should have surgery. Most people think that's the route to go. He said, but there's not enough. He said, even at that time, he said, there's not enough success cases for that. Most people that undergo that have issues afterwards that they never had.
Sure.
So that wasn't an option. But he did say therapy. And I went to a therapist and the first 3 questions were, are your friends loud? I was like, oh, my friends are loud. Yeah, Keith.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, she started talking about the abuse I was doing to my voice prior to even singing.
Oh, my God. So I would like to get that number from you, by the way.
I hope she's still alive. I know that was 100.
Oh, gosh.
That was 100 years ago. Like,
that's
she was
a great idea, though. Shut up, Jenny. Stop acting like you so old. You look like a baby. What are you talking?
Senior citizens do my food shopping, and I'm proud of that.
Hey.
It's the perk that comes with being a senior citizen.
Okay.
I represent.
I don't believe you.
I will say that I did have a vocal problem. I had one vocal problem in my life, and that was when I think in 5 years now. I used to smoke. And
that's right.
I used to smoke, and
I forgot about that, Keith.
I would sing like forever while I smoked, but when I stopped smoking is when I started having vocal trouble.
Yeah, I heard that happens.
Yeah,
I heard that.
My system was used to, I guess, to smoke or whatever. But I mean, for that 1 year, I had vocal trouble of getting my range back and all that other stuff. But after that year, learning how to work through that, I'm back to normal. But that's the only time I've ever had vocal trouble. And when I drink on a normal, what Audrey was talking about, and I drink it regularly, not just when I get sick, but I make a tea that I got from a reef. A reef makes it. He told me about it. Fresh lime, fresh ginger, and 3 shakes of cayenne pepper. You can add whatever you want after that, but those are the 3 main ingredients: lime, ginger, and cayenne pepper.
Yeah. And we're talking about fresh.
That's what Stevie Wonder's go to. He does it. I don't know if he does it with lime, but he does do it with lemon, the cayenne.
Yeah, I do. We do lemon. We don't do lime, but it doesn't matter to me. It's still acidic.
Citrus.
It's acidic, but also what some people, a few doctors have told me as well, lemon also streps the throat. That's why I use lime.
I could see that.
Lemon actually streps the throat. So,
but what is the difference? Isn't lime and lemon basically as similar in terms?
Lime is just not as
it's not as stripping.
Oh, okay.
Right, and because you can also use lime as a substitute for salt.
They say that about lemon too, babe.
Oh, okay.
They say that about lemon too. They say that about lemon too. But I think lemon is a little stronger, as you.
Okay, I'll try lime.
But then lemon is probably needed for people who have a lot of mucus because they don't cut through that.
It cuts it.
I'm with you. It can definitely dry you out.
What do you say, Bill?
The lime doesn't cut through the same with the because I've suffered with that my whole life. I might make some tea with lime. It's not like making tea with lemon.
He's right.
All of this, the mucus and everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So we it's a matter of choice, as Jenny said, but now we know what the differences are. Sorry, I know, Damon. We are.
No.
When you get singers together, because you know what really is making it worse?
What's
The
that?
pandemic.
Right.
We're not together. We're not getting the joy of singing.
And when we do get together, it's gonna be so awkward.
It's gonna be awesome.
Like,
it's
can't
gonna
say,
be.
hey, I haven't seen you and give you a hug because I might kill you, or you
Right.
might.
But
You know?
somebody needs to have a big choir session so that we. Oh my gosh, a big,
Yeah.
not a Zoom session, a real session in the studio where we all sing on it. Everybody plays on it.
As soon as we're able to sing without vaporizing everybody into a death.
That's gonna do it for sure. You know.
Yeah.
Real quick, y'all. The next thing I want to touch on, which is, you know, because all of you have worked with incredible people, right? So which person?
Man, you are too.
What was the audition process, or if not, you know, whatever way that it worked out that you got to work with that artist that you said, oh my gosh, I'm here, and we're, you know, we got the rehearsals. I got the list of rehearsals, and we're gonna hit the road. And who was that artist for you? You know,
Go ahead, Keefy.
Well, I can say, well, I have so many. I mean, Martha Wash is one, Nona Hendricks, and Bernard Fowler. I mean, the audition, I would say, I walked into the audition knowing, even if I didn't get it, I know I came close. I got it. I wasn't getting it. But I know, even in the audition, I knew I was close to getting it, and that was Hot Feet, because it was the Earth, Wind, and Fire music.
Yeah.
You love Earth and Fire. Yeah.
Not even that. I sang the music on wedding bands every damn weekend. So I knew shit like the back of my hand.
So you knew it.
And when I walked in, I knew I didn't know I forgot the song I sang, but I never sang the right lyrics. So I apologized. I said, look, I'm about to screw your lyrics up, but I'm going to sing the shit out of it. You know?
I love that you told them that.
Excuse me, I'm just letting you know. I'm going to mess this up.
I sang the song with the wrong lyrics and wound up getting the part.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
But you gave him a disclaimer. You're like, I might not be singing the right words, but I'm going to sing the hell out of this song. And you don't believe that those were the words. You're
going to wish you had written those words.
You're like, damn, we should have put them words in there.
That's what we should have done. Oh, God, that's so funny. That's funny.
Audrey, who was your artist?
As they both say, it's so many people that obviously I'm singing with a legend at this time. I'm singing with Chaka Khan, and I did not have to audition. It was a situation of Cindy Mizell recommending me. And I'll never forget, it was on Mother's Day. I had a whole personal, dramatic day in a relationship. It was really one of the ugliest days of my life, believe it or not. Anybody remembers my old road manager boyfriend will know why. But so my dad had to bring me to the gig because we had a session with Barry Eastman, Cindy and I, and then I had to go to the sound check. And we go to the sound check, so I'm nervous. And I'm just like, and Cindy had already been doing the gig. So I was just like, oh, I'm just nervous. The word, you know, you have your interpretation of what a Chaka song sounds like or what you thought the words were. And then you see it and go, oh, is that what she's saying? So for me, it was that. I also got to sing with Linda Ronstadt. And that was so different than anything that I had ever done. So for me, that was a great, you know, different style of singing as well. It wasn't an audition thing as well. It was not. I did not have to. I sang with Brian Ferry. That was like pop, rock, alt. So, you know, luckily, I'll be honest with you, I've not had to audition. I've pretty much been recommended by a musician, or I can't think of an audition. Oh, I auditioned for one thing and I did not get it, but that was not a pleasant situation. And that was Madonna. And I felt like I didn't get it because I wasn't.
Consider yourself lucky and
listen,
blessed.
I heard.
You did not get that gig, girl. Don't even sweat.
I have heard because I wasn't a dancer. So I couldn't dance and sing. And it was like, nah, I'm not getting this. You know, and I had sung on her records. I sang on our stuff. So it was like.
Yeah. You can sing on her records, but live performing with her, especially back in the day, was just different. You know, it was just different.
I remember. The audition was a bunch of people in there, and I got called from Nikki from LA, Harris, and she was just like, she's looking for this, and in the room with all these other, oh, that's so-and-so. And they just started slowly, the room just kept shrinking, and I was like, deuces. The vocal part was amazing. They liked that, but then they put you in this big dance room, and 5, 6, 7, and then you saying to yourself, but I have to sing. How am I going to do all that and sing this? Because I'm a singer first. I don't understand. Like when choreographers come and they do it all the time with us. And we're like, let me just say this to you. This is not no lightweight singing. This is not, wah. It's not that. We have to sing from our gut. And you want me to do a turn before I do that and then catch the mic and
So on some of these gigs now, are they flying a lot of that stuff in? Because that's what I kind of hear.
They're flying. If they're smart, they're flying your vocal in. Like they'll record.
There you go.
Yeah. And then you sing on top of that. That way,
you can sing to yourself.
Yeah.
However,
and if they're really good, and there's a few that is, they'll hear more of the live version than what you re-recorded, because live is going to be swinging different. Yep. No matter how you do it in the studio, you'll do it as close as you can, and you'll be playing to a live track. But when that music is hitting on stage, that swagger is going to change.
Because you're dancing and you beat, you got your clothes on. You're right.
So for me, one will have you, but it'll have live over that, because the live is just going to be more livelier. It's just
but Jenny, a lot of times it's the opposite of what you're saying, because
singing over somebody else's vocals is just stupid.
When we did the tour with Chaka and Prince, Prince and Chaka had recorded this stuff in Minneapolis, and now he's wanting us to. That was the first time we ever worked with him. And I don't sing like Prince like that, so it's like, and we're trying to. And we're looking at each other like, I hate anything that wasn't recorded was the stuff that we do. But like you just said, when I've worked with Ricky Minor and when I've worked with Ray Chu, they record rehearsals. You do sound check before the show. And I don't have a problem with that, because I can match me.
I love that. I love
that. I'll be honest with you. Okay. I've done that more so than, like you said,
recording. To already pre-recorded tracks that you'll never be able to sound like, because they got all kind of processes on it and all, and then it don't sound like you.
And you know what? Our vibe is different when we do it, because they're not really hearing you. So you're like, you kind of lip sync, and that's not what it's supposed to be live.
Yeah. But I don't have a lot of that. I've never had a lot of that. Most of what I had to sing live, you're hearing you out live.
So they do that with Pink. You do that when you do Pink.
No, anybody that's got a show that big right now, you're gonna have and she's smart enough, or her campus enough to record us, because she does her own backup. You know what I mean? That's the other thing, and she don't want to hear just her.
Right. And what's the point of having three backgrounds? Right.
Exactly. She don't want to just hear her. She wants to hear.
I kind of step in and beg to differ a little bit with that, just on the simple fact of the singing and dancing, because coming from the musical theater world, you learn to sing and dance.
I don't have a problem with that either, Keith, because I'm from the theater world too.
No. Jenny's a freaking dancer. I know Jenny's
We're talking about Madonna. We're talking about Madonna.
Yes,
Madonna ain't a little bit of choreography.
I know. I know, but I'm just saying.
Really involved.
But
like,
it is
your leg up into a split involved shit.
I understand all of that, but I'm just saying that, coming from when somebody comes in, when a choreographer comes in to the, let's say, drug, sex, and rock and roll world, you kind of.
What does it mean?
I just kind of adapt to it, because coming from the theater background, you learn how to sing and dance, and you learn how to do a drill on a high seat or whatever.
I'm taking offense at that sex, drugs, and rock and roll statement.
Like, what do you mean? She said.
What does that mean?
Well, people out there who know, I know, and they know what I'm talking about. So.
What do you know? That's what I'm asking.
She's like, break it down for me.
Well, we ain't gonna get into my past, but let's just say I know.
Oh, okay.
Wow. And
Keith, I've obviously had to do choreography with gigs that I've done, like she said. We had choreography when we did the tour with Prince, but Madonna is, like she said, is part of a Ray and 5 and 6 and kick and 5 and split.
Oh yeah, I'm not a dancer. She wants a dancer
and sing like this. Oh baby, that is not going to happen after I did all of that. This is not going to happen.
I'm always amazed at that.
Yeah,
I'm always amazed at that. And then one of the things I'll say about Pink is, even in the beginning, when she had a dance break, she stopped singing, and I said, "Oh, she's a real singer."
She knows.
They ain't gonna be able to do all that shit.
Come on now, that's not.
Now, when she can't sing, when she's flying, I still don't know how the hell she does that, because I know I would have been thrown up on every audience that I had to perform in.
Not to mention,
I would have just tossed my cookies every night.
Right.
But she's figured out how to do that. But when it comes to dancing and doing routines, when that dance break happens, Miss Thing is not going to be singing.
That's all right.
Put
She's
that
smart.
down, put the side, and do all that, and then come in, and then it's modified even after that, what she does while she's singing. I appreciate it.
I hear you.
Because like you just said, if you're a real singer, it's going to be difficult for you to do that really, really extreme dancing and exactly carry a note.
It's hard.
You can't do it. It's not possible.
I mean, it's like when you hear Usher try to dance and sing, sometimes he's out of breath.
Because he needs to stop and figure out which part he going to sing, which
what's more
part he
important?
going to dance.
Yeah. You're trying to do a split and get back up and sing a real, my favorite part of a song, and you sound like,
yeah, because he's out of breath.
I'm not. So those are not the gigs for me, and I prepare myself.
You don't know what the gig is for you. Don't even try it. You don't know.
I'm just saying.
I don't know that answer yet. Listen, we still breathing on this planet. You know, somebody call you, be like, hang on a minute.
I'm not saying. I don't mean that I wouldn't do it. I mean I don't see myself getting there. Is what I mean. Jenny, shut up. I'm not dogging them at all. I look at you every time I see you. I tell Will, that's Jenny. There go Jenny. Look, there go Jenny. Because you've always been a dancer.
I'll admit to that. Something really, really wrong with me, but that's okay. I'm good with it. I'm good. And coronavirus has taught me that right now, I don't really need to be around a lot of people. I'm cool.
Me?
Because I want this to heal. I want the world to heal. I don't want to be the one that thinks I got to get out so I can be me if it's not time.
Right.
No rushing it.
It's not time. You rushed it. Right. And when you rushed it, now we got this. We're supposed to be going downhill with this, and we're the only ones going all the way up to the moon with it.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
unreal.
At all. Not respecting it at all.
Yeah. I just hope that they come up with a Zoom way where, and I know I've seen it done, but like there was talk of, and I was just talking to a sound engineer, there was talk of Walmarts using their parking lots and doing like and I was just like, okay, you know, if people would stay in their freaking cars, then it would be amazing. But you know, there was talk of little things like that, like not the stuff that happened in the Hamptons where they were 500 cars and then they got out and people were jamming on each other, dancing on each other, and
that was very stupid. That was stupid. You might as well just let somebody drop you off and y'all just stand.
Right. Come back and get me because I'm gonna be dancing with the person and so exactly. But anyway, I would hope that would happen, but we all know, as I tell my friends who ask, we're gonna be the last ones going back to work.
Yeah, anybody in our industry knows that we're because we require crowds.
Right.
We require it. That's how we get paid.
Sad fact.
That's how the artist gets paid. That's how the venue gets paid. That's how the vendors get paid.
The promoters. Yep.
All of that.
The last ones.
Yeah. So it you know, it's a little shaky, like you said, but it's something we're definitely used to, accustomed to, because we are singers, professional musicians that don't have a 9-to-5 that we clock in on a daily basis and on year-to-year basis, and you know it just doesn't work like that for us. We're very fortunate to work like this.
Right.
It has to come when it comes. It's not already written in stone.
But we also know that in our lifestyles we have downtime. That's how I look at it, because like, you know, y'all know my husband, you know, we both tour. We were always like, sometimes ships passing in the night. So, and some people, and your husband too, Jenny, sometimes it's a thing where I've heard that a lot of people they've been so unused to being around each other 24 hours, 24/7, doing what you got to do. And it's torn some people. And
the first 2 weeks were rough.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, you're not.
I think my husband was ecstatic. It was just like, we're both home.
The first 2 weeks were a little bit on the rough side.
Because it's like you get used to certain habits, certain things that you do, you know, in a hotel room. You got your piece. You're in a hotel, Jenny. He's in another. Y'all are like.
I think it's more about being in the same space, even despite the fact that we are always on the road. But just being in the same space, like I'm never here. So the house was more Gary than it was anything.
Wow.
But he was taking my pieces and putting them in Gary's spaces. I was like, what the? She's like, I liked it. I was like, obviously, but that's not where I put it.
Not cool, right? But for me, he has his studio is his man cave. So in the course of the time we've been here, he's fed the dog, waved at me, gone back downstairs, and I'm a crafter, and Jenny does the same thing but doesn't do it
I'm
anymore.
about to do a baby blanket tonight.
Yeah, I crochet. So that is, girl, I'm making myself a top. I'm gonna send you a picture of it. I was like,
you go that route. I'm not trying to make clothes. Look, I
love making clothes. I don't like making blankets.
And I might make a poncho, but I ain't trying to make something with sleeves and stuff.
Wait, stop it. I don't like doing blankets. It's just a square. I'm like, okay, wow.
No, you can't. You don't have to do just a square. You're right. But I'll do it if someone asks me. But Jenny, I feel like if you can make a blanket, you can make a dope skirt. I just look at it like that. That sounds crazy. True. I just don't want to wear a dope skirt that I crochet.
I'm making myself a skirt right now that I'm going to wear for my.
I made Keith a shirt. I made a man shirt for Keith. Keith has a shirt and I'm so proud of it because I've never made anything for a guy. So
you did?
I made him a summer mesh shirt that he wears, and people are like,
I love it.
Do you have a pattern for it? And I'm like,
but that requires a little needle, and that's the other reason. See,
you can crochet the side. You can crochet the clothes. You can do a slip stitch. You don't have to do sewing because I don't like the needle too much either.
No, but it's a little crochet needle. Is what I'm saying.
No, no. There's big. No, we'll talk about it. No, ma'am.
Give me the ladder.
Okay.
You guys.
And Keith, make sure. Stop at. Keith, you send her a picture of you wearing your. I'm gonna send it to Jenny myself. I got a picture of him. He's in a photo shoot and he's like posing, and I use it in all when people say, "Do you do men's stuff?" I say, "Yes, I do." But you do hats though, Jenny, right?
Yeah. But that isn't a big deal. I've recently done I make magazine baskets now. I can do that with the big. Yeah. What's called hand
knitting with I never done
and hand knitting, so I can do that kind of stuff.
Gentlemen, this is what the folks can do, right? So we're
spare time, everyone. Pick up a hobby.
Sorry, we can't help it.
Be incredible singers.
And we're talking, but we're artsy. See, that's the thing.
It's all in the arts. It really is.
It is in the arts. That is for sure.
It's creating, and music is.
That's how we get through the pandemic. That's how we get through it.
I know. I mean, you mentioned that we're going to be the last ones to go back to work, but we're the first ones needed because music is a healer of all the world. Like music is one of the places where you can put people from all kind of ethnicities, and they come from different backgrounds, and they have different beliefs, and they have different political beliefs, but they have this one thing. They love this particular music, and you walk in this concert and they're all there and they're all happy to be there.
She's right. That's the truth. Even the people that we work with and we tour with, our crew guys, you know, you're a Democrat, this person's a Republican.
It's diverse.
But when you get on stage, we're a family. It's like, so she, and to piggyback on that, Jenny, just like when the World Trade happened, I was on tour. So we were on tour, and it was scary. They stopped the tour. My house at the time where I lived, you could see them fall from Secaucus where I used to live. Yeah. And when they called us back to go back, we were scared. I didn't want to get on a plane, but they said they need you. They need this music. They need you. But this is so different now because they're saying that when we sing, we expel even more air, possibilities of, we can't sing with a mask on. So, musicians, I've seen some musicians play, with a mask on, but singing, how's that going to work?
Totally.
So let me just say that I think that we won't come to a conclusion until the powers that be
get together,
stop being greedy, and stop thinking about their pockets and start thinking about people's health.
I agree.
That's when we're going to really come to a conclusion with this, because everybody's trying to say, okay, we're going to open up Broadway. We can do this for the audience. We can do that for the audience. But what are you doing for the people on stage? What are you doing for the band members underneath the stage? What do you do? We need to be protected just as the audience needs to be protected. So until the powers that be will stop being greedy and looking at their pocket.
Right.
Because that's follow the money. Whenever anything goes down, you follow the money trail, and that will lead you right to where the shit began.
I agree with you. And it makes you, it blinds you to the truth, and it blinds you to trust, and it blinds you to humanity, the sacredcy of humanity. It blinds you to all these things that you know are right, because all you're looking at, like you said, is this bottom line, which is the dollar sign, and it doesn't mean anything to mankind. It's just a dollar sign. You can't take it with you, but for some reason, it's the almighty, and you can't live like that. We shouldn't.
That's why they're having this whole big discussion about kids trying to go to school, and how you're going to go to school
for the economy.
At the risk, well, not only the economy, but you're risking not only the kids, but you're risking the teachers. You're risking
My wife is in the school system. I mean, I'm like,
everyone is at risk.
No, baby, you know. So
my baby sister is a teacher, is in the teaching. She's actually a superintendent of schools in New York, and she's like, I'm thinking about early retirement. She said, I don't want to do this. She's got 2 little girls, and she's like, I got to worry about my kids in school. And then I have all these teachers calling me, like, what are we going to do? And there's also talk about them doing a general teacher strike, which is what I think they should do. All of them need to be united.
I agree with you, because they have more power than they're being told that they do. They do not have to force themselves to go into situations. And I'll give an example, because I'm going to start a blog, y'all. I've been thinking about it. It's called Not Your Husband's Sports Blog. Because I'm not really fanatic, but I just have it innately because I have 4 brothers under me. Anywho, so think about what the baseball. That's a good example, because everybody else has done the bubble, and even with the bubble, they're delicately. They're just like walking on eggshells, hoping please don't get it, please don't get it, please don't. We're testing you every day, please don't get it, because we're trying the best we can to make this work. But baseball, what really made them think that they could just travel?
And wait a minute, 17 players on one team.
Really?
In Florida.
Florida.
I
a hot spot.
I just can't believe it. It's just the silliest
thing I've ever heard. At least with basketball. And why did you pick Florida? I know that they had the thing in Florida. I'm talking about as far as the basketball. And now you got other players on other teams snitching on each other. Like, I saw him. He was out with it.
Because as it is, basketball is still 0%. However,
that's true.
They are in Florida. So in order for them to stay 0%, they truly have to stay in that bubble. But that doesn't mean those staff people that are coming back and forth.
That's what they said. They're coming in. It's so silly.
I guess they're being tested too. I guess you get home, you get there and you get tested, and they'll be like, you know what? You got to go back home.
Right.
You're done for here.
I mean, Damon, you're there in Florida, correct?
Yes. Yeah, but I'm on the outskirts, and, we don't play around.
Okay, good.
Yeah, good. Smart where you are.
You know exactly what, Elizabeth plans it to the T.
Good.
Sometimes to me, okay, what are you on your way back? So it's all that. So we really, because I look at it is, we're all high risk.
Yes. Right. You should think that. You should think like that.
We're all, because, we love each other, right? So it's all no matter what.
You're right.
Unless we got to look at it like that, So
you're right.
Because there's so much more to do, and again, this show, if you don't know, now you know show. And
now you know. Baby.
Now you know. If you don't know, now you know. Baby.
I told you I embraced it.
Yeah, so it's good stuff. And I want to, at this point, because of this, of the greatness, certain people are shout out like Fonzie, great vocalist, Kevin Owens, the other vocalists that you guys know.
Tawatha Agee.
Lisa, just going on. And the girl that used to sing with Cindy back at the Leviticus, Jackie Whimper.
Oh, I don't know Jackie, but I never sang with Jackie.
Yeah, she was sang with Cindy and
Evan. Was it with Evan?
Yeah, back in the day.
Right.
We used to record.
I've heard of her, and I think I met her, but I've never.
Wayne Cobham knows. Wayne is knows.
Oh, okay.
But the other thing
Dennis Collins,
is the Black Theater United, and all the work that they're doing, and because they have a lot of folks that are supporting them, and they recently had a show last week with Stacey Abrams, and she expressed a lot of information about the census, the importance of the census.
Right.
10 years, because folks don't do that. They're afraid of that census, thinking that data is going to be used against them.
Yeah.
Really, they are, but they shouldn't be.
Right, they shouldn't.
To get that money into your community.
Exactly.
If you mess it up, the 10 years is going to go someplace else. So
Yep.
somebody who doesn't,
You're going to suffer because of it. So
goes to Jack, and you have 40 kids in a classroom, So it's all that because the numbers are wrong. So it's, a lot of great things, and I think being that we're cooped up, there's a lot of great efforts being done. It's a lot of great thought. I know because I'm one that's 3:30 in the morning, I'm up, and God is like, hey, you can do this, you can do that, call Keith, call Jenny, tell them to,
mine is racing.
That's how these things come about, and it's great conversation, and just the fact of everybody that's that's replied to it. So it's Lillian McFarland. That's Fred McFarland's wife.
Oh, okay.
So there's a lot of great people that just from a distance have that are watching us, and it just builds because I'll repeat it, and people just keep watching it, and we'll
great.
More, feedback on it. But we'll go here now. It's just anything that you guys want to say individually, as far as the audience, as far as everything that's going on. I know we touched on it, but just to uplift, so that folks just know that we're going to get through this. We're just going to be positive. Because the thing we got last week was Peter walked on the water. He's walking on the water, right? Until, I had to say until, right? So as at that point, he kind of faith. He lost a little faith, and he started to drop. So we just have to just stay walking on that water, and working on the word, and knowing that we're going to get through this.
That's all we can do.
That's all we can do.
That's all we can do. I mean, I found myself watching too much CNN, watching my phone, reading news excerpts, and it can become very, make you depressed, like a little sad. That's the only negative about, like Jenny was saying, I'm cool being by myself. I'm one of those people on the road who check into the hotel and I'm deuces. I go in my room, I'm crocheting, I'm chilling. I can be alone. I can be alone. Maybe because I'm one of 8, but I'm good with that. But this is another level of your mind is working. You're thinking about, when is this going to end, or how is this going to end? And then a lot of us have lost musician friends and just loved ones.
Right,
so that is hard to and then of course, if they come up with a solution or they come up with a vaccine, you think of the people that didn't make it and be like, wow, I wish they had it when that person was sick, or you know what I mean? So it's more thinking, it's more weighing on me in that way. I have a child, we all worry about this world, what we're leaving for them, so my daughter is nervous and afraid. So it's just like, it's that sort of thing that I have to try to stay positive. You know what I mean? I have to. That's what I tell myself. And I want to apologize to you guys as far as me coming on late, because my husband got me a new iPad. Yeah.
Are you using it for the first time?
Yes, girl. So
drop the new iPad, Audrey, girlfriend.
I was John James, and they will tell you, even Keith, I am so technically, I'm better than I used to be. But I'm sitting here trying to.
Fabulous.
Yes, and if you notice, I had to change I had it the long way like Jenny, and I just felt like it was, am I doing the right thing? So forgive me, because I was trying to set it up.
Audrey,
okay, cool.
Thanks. Very cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you for making this a memorable birthday, by the way. Thank y'all.
Yeah. So happy to be a part of your birthday.
So you don't even know, Jenny, our background. We go, listen, let me just say, I don't talk to Jenny all the time. But there have been some moments in my life where Jenny has been such a calming, introspective person, and she'll say 3 words to you, and you're like, ding, 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 ding. She knows when maybe you don't remember Jersey City. That's all I'm gonna say. It's Jersey City.
I do. It's very
I'll
special.
never
It's
forget.
Very special for both of us.
I did not know at the time, but for me, you were such it's not very many people you trust to just like pull your coat and say something. You don't know ever where everybody's coming from when they say certain things, but I will never forget. Not to mention my child and the year of my child being in my tummy, me and you together. There's just so many things. So I just want to say that to you. You don't have to talk.
Well,
We don't have to
thank
talk
you.
every day. We don't.
No,
But
no.
when you do see that person,
Nothing is arbitrary, and nobody is
Absolutely.
arbitrary in your world.
Absolutely.
No matter how brief or how long. I think the journey probably is preset, and we're just following it as it goes because we think we're in control. We're really not.
We're really not. Oh my God.
And if we surrender to that, which is what I want to add to the whole, what kind of encouragement I want to give people in general, not just musicians and singers, is that we have to stay encouraged. I watched the funeral today, and it was
me too.
It gave me strength and it gave me hope, and it let me understand that it's not going to be easy, but it ain't going to be as hard as we think it is. But we cannot allow it to think that it's going to be the norm. It is not. That is BS. And know that it's already on its way out the door. And I'm hoping my little caption that I did read today of the few that I looked at is he's thinking about quitting. Please.
I saw that too. I saw it.
Please quit.
Look.
That will save us so much trouble.
All of us together.
In the name of Jesus, hallelujah.
In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. That's our Catholic school.
Yes.
Yes, I saw that too, Jenny.
That's my word of encouragement, and that we are the peacemakers, the musicians and the people, the artists in the world. Yes. We are the peacemakers. We're the things that keep everything in harmony. Harmony is essential to what we do.
Absolutely.
We couldn't make it without harmony, and that's what the world needs to know. It's harmony that makes us go around. It's not this stuff. That's BS. And don't let anybody tell you that it is.
That's right. That's right. Go ahead, Keith. What you say, Keith? Keithy, what you say?
Well, to add on to what the both of you have said, I mean, I'm the opposite. I do watch the news. I read. I listen to everything.
Oh, we do too.
I won't hold it against you.
No, I'm not just saying that I continuously watch the news. I continuously read. I continuously am abreast of what's thrown at me, whether it's right or whether it's wrong and different or whatever. I just want to be fully aware of what you're thinking, what he's thinking, what she's thinking, what they're thinking, where that's coming from, whether it's right, wrong, whatever, and I position it for myself.
Right.
Don't get us. We have to hear it because it's only form. You just don't have to be inundated.
Right. That's what it is. Inundation.
You don't have to be inundated, and that's what Audrey was saying.
I just felt myself too much. It was consuming me, and my husband he would get that glazed look when I'm talking to him, like, oh gosh, she's going over the deep end, and I had to catch myself. And trust me, I'm gonna get off the phone with y'all, and I'm gonna go right in my phone and see if any new news happened, because I'm a reader. I'm a reader.
I'm going to my yard and see if I can put this bedding up the guy I've been trying to do for the last year. I got water in the house. I need to take that stuff outside.
I finished my statement was.
He said, let me talk.
Interrupted.
It's so unusual for us to interrupt you, though, Keith.
Oh, my God. I know.
I do all that for myself. I do all that. So, I mean, I say that just to say, as an individual, you need to do what's best for you.
Right.
If it's to watch the news, if it's not to watch the news, if it's to whatever to do, to get out the house, to be surrounded by people, to stay by yourself, do what's best for you, what suits you. And if it's safe for you and the people that you are around, that's best. I mean, as opposed to wearing the mask, not wearing all of that stuff. Just do best for all of us, to protect all of us, and to stay well. That's what I meant by watching. I watch just to put things in perspective for me, whether it's right or wrong or whatever. I make my own opinion of what from what I've read, what I see, whatever. So whether it's right or wrong, it's my opinion. And I think that's what we're getting away from in the States, is that we're all walking on eggshells about
each other.
About everything. I mean, everything has a question mark to it now, where I don't agree. I mean, I some of the things I agree with, but what happens after is what happens after, because there's a lot of stuff that we're all, let's do it. But what happens after?
Right.
Let's think about the full picture. Not just happening right now, but what happens after. Because as you said, we will get through this. but what's going to happen once we get through this?
Well, we're going to be changed. We're going to be changed.
Yeah, it's going to be a
But I'm just saying,
different.
we need to think about that.
Right.
And
You're
we-
right.
I mean, do you think that we're not thinking about that? That's, I mean, you can't predict the future. That's one thing you have to know for sure. But
No,
you
we
have
are thinking about it, but people out. Well, for example, this is my opinion, so don't jump on me for it. But
Oh, no.
but
I'm not judging you.
I don't care if you do or not.
You just said don't do it.
See, that's the thing about living in America. We have freedom of choice. I can change my mind whenever I want to.
That's right.
They say that's also a privilege of female, when just so you know.
Well, call me female, whatever.
Women are really good at doing that.
Yeah.
That's our privilege.
I'm mad. I'm jumping into that. But what I wanted to say was just the whole thing about just the taking down the monuments and all that other stuff. It's just like
They need to go, Keith.
no, they need to go. Yes, some of them.
They don't represent anything that's positive. People don't want to explain it to you because they think that you're supposed. Now that's what libraries are for. You want to know what the hell they did? Go to the library, read the book, find the. You don't need no statue of somebody that was not standing for life.
See, what I was going to say was again before I was
Rudely interrupted.
you know.
I'm so sorry, but I'm just saying.
No, it's what you were just saying, Jenny, is that yes, we can take these things down, but it starts with education.
Right.
I agree with you. Now that you're right, 100%.
Yeah.
And that's all I wanted to say. It's let them know why you're taking this stuff down. And whatever. Just don't take it down.
Oh, I agree with that.
Think of taking that. Have the education behind it. And this stuff needs to be taught.
Correct. Correct.
Not just in the world.
No, you're right, Keith. No, there's a breakdown in that. Our educational system sucks right now.
Oh my God! Just like there's a lot of young kids right now that are not Black that don't know who John Lewis is, that passed away. So that wasn't their
civil rights movement.
So there's no statues of him. I'm just saying there are so many things. I personally, the whole thing of tearing down I get it. I agree with Jenny that it should be a place for it. And someone else said that. It should be a place. You go there, you want to know the history of the Civil War and slavery. It should be a place. I agree.
That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying, that's what I meant by saying, what happens after? Now that all this stuff is down, are you going to now teach about this stuff that we took down and why we took it down or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, that's a part of it. Can't, like you said, I agree with you. It can't just be, let's destroy this and then nobody understands why.
Talk about it no more. Right.
Not to do something, but you're not explaining what the outcome is going to be. I get that, Keith. I'm pulling your chain a little bit, but no, I get that. You're right. And all of this, the reason why we're at this point is because of the lack of education and lack of teaching what was true in the history and removing any and everything just about that was contributed to our history that came from a darker or tanner body.
That's right.
Right.
That's not just Black, that's Latino, that's
Indian,
there's Asian, Indian, anybody that contribute, but mostly Black because we built this country. We don't get credit for it.
That's right.
We were sitting over here to build this country. And I'm not trying to say the Irish caught hell too.
Right.
But the Irish could blend in later on because they didn't have the skin tone.
They have white skin. That's right. And Jewish people, they went through hell too, but they have white skin.
Exactly. So I'm just saying, I understand what you're saying. I was pulling your chain a little bit, but you're right. The outcome is you can't move forward until you know where your history came from. And you got to know the truth about it, or else you're being told some bullshit and you're following the 45. That's more or less.
I just hope everybody comes out of this. You can't come out of it the same.
Exactly.
If you come out of this the same, what's the point?
Yeah.
That's what
exactly.
Educational,
spiritually, you just missed the point. Do something.
That's what I say. We go into this whole thing is we came into this pandemic one way. Now, once this is over, if you as an individual come out the same way, then shame on you. Because
I agree with you.
No, I agree. I agree with that.
I agree with you on that.
You have nothing but time to think. Nothing.
Definitely time to think. And that's the blessing of us coming together. And we're sharing our journey with each other. And again, I appreciate you all for it. As 6 o'clock. I don't want to keep because I know the party's starting.
Yeah.
Hey, look, if y'all want to know,
you got a new iPad. Woo!
So silly.
Here we go. Here we go.
I got Will. Will's on the phone. He's telling me.
Listen, the party is really on Saturday, so y'all.
Okay.
They all have.
That's even better.
I know.
Wind up. What?
Audrey, here's to you.
Thank you. Here's my water bottle.
I'm not drinking anything.
Oh, man. He's got water.
Audrey.
Oh, she got a brush.
Here's to you, Audrey.
Oh, you're so silly. Oh, my God.
Thank you all. I just want to thank y'all. If you don't
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, the singing in one voice, everything that you just, talked about, the whole thing about background, the art of singing background, art of singing, period. The love, the blessing of the New York City community,
Yeah.
The love, that's the love, and we're going to continue to do these things. Bill and I have great plans. This is going to go on and on and on and on. Anything that you need.
Don't stop till the break of dawn.
Right.
Hip hop.
Right. But anything that you may have.
You know you're a hip hopper.
Keith is cracking up.
Because we got a bunch of things that we're doing. Elizabeth just did a girls' camp last week that was really successful. So a lot
I
of
just
things
want to compliment you guys on that too, by the way. The stuff that you're doing with the
you.
youth. If we lived in the same state, I would love to be involved with every aspect of helping younger, if they're trying to do the arts, in a way. I've wanted to do what you all are doing. It's just hard to put that together here. Maybe it's not hard, but I just have not really had the time to do it.
We came up on things. We like, again, share that information because it's all for good. Yeah. At this point in our lives, it's all about the kids and, the kingdom.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we just move forward and we're here for that, So I love y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate it.
Love you back.
And
blessings.
Love y'all.
Jenny, Audrey, birthday. Good wife, my co-host.
Thank you for having us. Thank you, guys.
Kisses, everybody.
God bless.
Bye, guys.
God bless you.
God bless.
Love y'all.
God bless. Stay safe.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, vote. Vote.
Vote.
Right.
Definitely. Spread that word.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
All right. Love you guys.